Before they were married, I was walking down the street with my brother. His girlfriend mistook me for his mistress and punched me in the face. My eye socket shattered, and I lost sight in one eye. Her excuse? She laughed and stuck out her tongue. Sorry, my eyesight is bad. I misjudged. I'm marrying your brother soon, so we're family. Let's not hold grudges, okay? My mother and brother told me to let it go. They said I shouldn't ruin his happiness after they got married. I was taking a shower in my own home. My sister-in-law kicked the door open and poured a pot of boiling water over me. I suffered severe burns all over my body. She cried and threw herself into my brother's arms. I just love you too much. I can't stand any other woman near you. My brother was moved by her love and forgave her. I was dumped in a hospital by my family and left to rot. I died of sepsis. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day before I went shopping with my brother. Hannah's birthday is coming up. I need to get her a gift.
Cease. Come help me pick something out.
Tom shook my shoulder, jolting me awake. Phantom pain of boiling water searing my skin lingered for a second. I frantically rolled up my sleeve, but my arm was smooth and unscared. What are you doing? Let's go. Tom urged, his voice louder now. I glanced at my phone. The date confirmed it. I had been reborn. I can't, I said, clutching my stomach and frowning. Cramps.
Bad.
Bad ones. I'm not going anywhere. You're so dramatic. My mom's voice cut in as she walked into the room. She grabbed my arm and yanked me off the bed. It's just cramps. Stop faking it. Get up and go with your brother. I fell to the floor, unprepared for the shove. It hurt, but I didn't care. Right now, my priority was saving my eye. Mom, why don't you go with Tom? You have better taste than me. If Hannah knows you picked it out, she'll be even happier. Mom rolled her eyes.
I'm bullshit.
I knew the drill.
Tom wanted me to go, so I would pay.
Mom knew it too, which is why she didn't want to go. I pulled out my phone and Venmo. Tom, $500 here, my treat. Buy yourself some new clothes for the season while you're at it. Seeing the money, Mom's expression softened instantly. Tom, realizing he had a pair stopped caring who went with him.
Fine, Mom. Go change.
Let's head out. Mom turned toward her bedroom, and I followed.
Mom.
Wear this one, I said, pulling a bright red jacket from her closet. It makes you look younger and gives you a great complexion. She put it on without a second thought. I watched them leave and let out a breath. I didn't know I was holding, but I didn't stay home. I followed them. Tom and Mom went straight to the mall. Tom knew exactly what he wanted. The luxury counters on the first floor. I watched from a distance, hidden behind a pillar. Soon, a familiar figure appeared. Hannah, Tom's girlfriend, walked in, arm in arm with her best friend. Hannah, look. Isn't that your boyfriend? The friend pointed. Hannah squinted. She saw Tom walking arm in arm with a woman. They were laughing, looking intimate. Because of the angle and the woman's loose hair, Hannah couldn't see her face. But she didn't need to. It was a woman. That was enough. Unbelievable. He tells me he's shopping for my gift, but he's actually out with some skank. Watch me teach her a lesson. Hannah rolled up her sleeves and charged Tom. She screamed,
Tom.
And Mom turned around at the sound of his name. In that split second, Hannah's fist connected squarely with Mom's eye socket. Crack.
Ah.
Mom screamed, stumbling back, clutching her face. You must be desperate. Hannah shrieked. You're hooking up with a grandma. If you want to break up, just say so. Tom stood frozen in shock before rushing to support Mom. Seeing him help the other woman only fueled Hannah's rage. Kill you, you old homewrecker. Shameless old hag. Are you crazy? Tom roared. This is my mother. Hannah's hand froze in midair. What? Mom was wailing in agony. My eye. It hurts. I can't see.
Tom.
My eye. Auntie. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I thought you were. Hannah tried to reach out, but Mom slapped her hand away. Get me to the hospital now. They rushed out, ignoring Hannah completely. Hannah stood there for a moment, realizing she had just punched her future mother-in-law. But she wasn't about to lose her meal ticket. She ran after them, watching the chaos unfold. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. In my last life, I was the one walking next to Tom. I didn't even touch him. But Hannah saw us and decided I was his mistress. She sucker punched me. Even after Tom explained I was his sister. She refused to believe it. She kept hitting me and blocked me from going to the hospital. By the time I got treatment, it was too late. I lost my left eye. When I wanted to press charges, she played the victim. I have bad eyesight. You two were too close. Siblings should have boundaries. You only lost one eye. Are you really going to ruin your brother's happiness over that? You're so selfish. I was furious. But Mom snatched my phone and slapped me. You troublemaker. It's just an eye. You still have one left. You want your brother to be alone forever? Because of my disability, I lost my promotion. My boss moved me to a dead-end admin job, making coffee. Later, Hannah came home early and found Tom alone. She heard the shower running and assumed he had a woman over. She boiled a pot of water, kicked the bathroom door open, and threw it without looking. It was me. I screamed as my skin melted off. Hannah laughed.
Die Homewrecker.
When the steam cleared and she saw it was me, she gasped, "Sister, why are you showering in the middle of the day? Are you trying to seduce my husband?" I called 911 myself, naked and burning. While I needed skin grafts, Tom and Mom stole my savings and told the doctors to stop treatment. Let her go. It's too expensive. I died of infection. On my deathbed, Hannah sneered at me.
Next time.
Stay away from other people's husbands. My funeral. They told everyone I had seduced my own brother, and that my death was karma. I died in agony and shame. But God gave me a second chance. And this time, this family of vipers was going to pay. Tom called me from the ambulance, screaming for me to come to the hospital. When I arrived, the doctor was examining Mom. Hannah looked me up and down.
Who are you?
In this life, I kept my distance from Tom specifically to avoid her wrath. I smiled. You must be Hannah. I'm Tom's sister. You two are perfect for each other. Hannah didn't respond. She looked pale. Her punch at the mall had been full force. She had meant to maim Mom's eyeball had ruptured on impact. Blood was still oozing from the corner of her eye. The doctor sighed. We have to remove the eye immediately to prevent infection. Mom gasped and fainted with her one good eye rolling back. I rushed forward, wailing theatrically. Oh, Mom. My poor mother. Who did this to you? How will you live? As a cyclops? My wailing woke Mom up. She remembered her attacker. She leaped up, grabbing Hannah by the hair with one hand, and slapping her with the other. You bitch. Give me back my eye. Give it back. Hannah was a bully, but she couldn't fight. She screamed for Tom to help. Tom stood there, useless, trying to pull them apart. Tom, break up with this psycho right now. She is never stepping foot in my house. Mom screamed. Hannah, battered and crying, clung to Tom's arm.
Babe, I'm sorry.
I just loved you too much. I lost my mind. She turned to Mom. Auntie, I'll make it up to you. I'll marry into your family and take care of you forever. I'll be your eyes. Tom's face lit up. He was satisfied. He got the girl and the caretaker. But Mom wasn't having it.
Get out.
I don't want a lunatic like you. She glared at Tom. If you stay with her, you're dead to me. I stepped in to mediate. Okay, everyone calm down. Mom is emotional. You two wait outside.
I'll talk to her.
Hannah sat on the bench, rubbing her swollen face. Mom sat next to her. I went back into the room. Hannah had to marry Tom. They deserved each other. I needed them under one roof so they could destroy each other. I sat next to Mom.
Mom, calm down.
Think about the future. Mom glared at me. What do you mean? A few minutes later, I called the lovebirds back in. I agree to let you marry my son, Mom said to Hannah. Hannah beamed, opening her mouth to thank her. But I have conditions, Mom interrupted. First, you blinded me. You pay for the surgery and the hospital stay. Second, no dowry.
No wedding gifts.
If it weren't for Tom, I'd have you arrested. You go to prison for assault. Hannah frowned at the no dowry part. Mom immediately reached for her phone to dial 911. I jumped in. Hannah, think about it. Once you're married, we're family. Money ruins relationships. If Mom presses charges, you'll have a criminal record. Your future kids won't be able to get government jobs. Tom, realizing he wouldn't have to pay a dowry, immediately sided with us. Outnumbered, Hannah agreed. Her parents, hearing she had blinded her future mother-in-law, were too ashamed to argue. Since Mom needed surgery, there was no wedding. They just signed the papers at the courthouse. Mom lost her eye. I bought her a pirate patch. Hannah moved in. Mom made it her mission to make Hannah's life hell. But they were newlyweds. So Tom and Hannah were still in the honeymoon phase. Hannah, however, couldn't stop being paranoid. One day, she asked Tom to drive her to her parents' house. When she got in the car, she noticed the passenger seat had been moved forward. It didn't explode immediately. She waited until she got home. Sis, she asked me casually, did you sit in Tom's car recently? Did you adjust the seat? I looked confused.
Me? No.
Why? I looked at Hannah with wide, innocent eyes, shaking my head. I don't even have a license, remember? Mom says women shouldn't drive. Hannah's grip on her purse tightened. Her knuckles were white. Then why was the seat moved? Tom has long legs. He keeps it all the way back. I paused, pretending to think hard. I let silence stretch just long enough to make her heart race. Well, I whispered, leaning in closer. Tom did mention he was carpooling to save gas money. Maybe he gave a ride to that new intern? The one he said looked like a K-pop idol? What was her name? Jessica? There was no Jessica. But Hannah didn't know that. The color drained from Hannah's face. The seed was planted. In my past life, her jealousy was a wildfire that burned me alive. In this life, I would be the wind that blew it in her face. Jessica, Hannah hissed, the name tasting like poison in her mouth. I'm sure it's nothing, I said deeply, patting her shoulder. Tom loves you. He wouldn't cheat just because you're stressed. And because mom is difficult. Hannah didn't hear the reassurance. She only heard the confirmation of her worst fears. She stormed into the house, leaving me smiling on the porch. Life in the house became a suffocating theater of misery. Mom, embittered by the loss of her eye and her beauty, transformed into a tyrant. She wore the black eye patch I bought her not with dignity, but as a weapon. She claimed her depth perception was gone, so she couldn't cook, clean, or even pour her own water. Hannah, Mom would screech from the living room. My tea is cold. Are you trying to freeze me to death, like you blinded me? Hannah, trying to atone and keep Tom, became a servant. She ran back and forth, looking more haggard by the day. I'm coming, Mom, Hannah yelled back, her voice cracking. Don't call me Mom, you violent psycho. Mom threw a slipper at her. It missed, hitting the wall. You're only here because my son is too soft to send you to jail. I sat on the sofa, peeling an orange. Mom, don't get so worked up. It's bad for your blood pressure. Hannah, just reheat the tea. And maybe iron Tom's shirts? He said they were wrinkled yesterday. He wants to look good for the office. I emphasized the office. Hannah's head snapped up. Why does he need to look good? Who is he seeing? Clients, I said simply. And coworkers. Hannah dropped the tea mug. It shattered. You did that on purpose. Mom screamed, clutching her chest. She's trying to kill me with glass shards now. Tom walked in at that moment, exhausted, tie loosened. What is going on? I can't hear you, from the driveway. Your wife is abusing me, Mom wailed. Your mother is a nightmare, Hannah shrieked. And who is Jessica? Tom froze.
Who?
Don't play dumb. Hannah lunged at him, checking his collar for lipstick, sniffing his shirt for perfume. You smell like vanilla. Who wears vanilla? It was just the air freshener in his car, which I had secretly changed the day before. Get off me, you crazy woman. Tom pushed her away. He looked at me for help. I shrugged. I just told her you were working hard, Tom. I don't know why she's so paranoid. Maybe she has a guilty conscience. Tom glared at Hannah. I'm working to pay for your mess. Mom's surgery cost a fortune. Stop nagging me. He stormed upstairs. Hannah collapsed on the floor, sobbing. Mom turned on the TV, turning the volume up to drown out the crying. Good show, I whispered to myself. 2 weeks later, I decided it was time to escalate. I waited until Hannah was in the shower. Then I unlocked her phone. Her passcode was Tom's birthday, obviously, and sent a text to herself from an unknown number, my burner phone. I'm wearing the red dress you like today. Meet me at lunch.
G.
I deleted the message log, so it looked like a flash notification. When Hannah came out, I casually mentioned, Tom left his lunchbox. I was going to take it to him, but I have cramps. I'll take it, Hannah said, her eyes manic. I watched her leave. Then I called the security desk at Tom's company. I deepened my voice. This is Mrs. Wilson. My daughter is coming to surprise her husband, Tom. She's suffering from episodes. Please let her up, but be careful. Hannah arrived at the office like a hurricane. When she got to Tom's floor, she saw him standing at the reception desk, laughing with a female client who happened to be wearing a red scarf. The logic disconnected in Hannah's brain. Red. Woman. Laughing. Jessica. You slut. Hannah didn't ask questions. She threw the thermos of hot soup she was carrying at the woman. The woman ducked. The soup exploded against the company logo on the wall, scalding the receptionist. Hannah. Tom screamed, horrified. Is this her? Is this the whore? Hannah grabbed the client by the hair. Security was there in seconds. They dragged Hannah off, kicking and screaming obscenities. The client, a major investor, was furious. She threatened to sue the company. Tom was fired on the spot. Tom came home that night with a box of his belongings and a face like thunder. You ruined my life. He screamed at Hannah. You are cheating, Hannah screamed back. She was 60 years old, you idiot. She was an investor. The house of cards was falling. With Tom unemployed and Mom's medical bills piling up, which I insisted needed specialists that were actually just expensive wellness clinics, the money ran out. We have to sell the house, Tom said, head in his hands at the kitchen table.
No.
Mom slammed her cane on the floor. This is my house. I'm not moving to a rental because of her. We have no choice, Mom, Tom yelled. Unless you have a secret fortune. I don't, Mom spat. But your sister does. 3 pairs of eyes turned to me. I was sitting in the corner, reading a book. I looked up calmly. My savings? I spent most of it on Mom's initial treatment. And I bought a small apartment downtown for myself, for when I move out. Sell it, Mom commanded. Give the money to your brother. No, I said. The room went silent. I had never said no to them before. Not in this life, not in the last. Excuse me? Mom stood up, her one eye bulging. I raised you. You owe me. I owe you nothing, I said, standing up. You let this woman blind you, and you still let her live here, because you're greedy. You, Tom, you let her abuse me in the past, and you let her ruin your career. I'm not bailing you out. You ungrateful brat. Tom raised his hand to hit me. I caught his wrist. I wasn't the weak little sister anymore. I had been going to the gym, taking self-defense classes while they were busy destroying each other. Touch me, I said, my voice ice cold. And I'll call the police. I'm sure they'd love to hear about how Hannah assaulted a client, and how you're trying to extort me. I threw his hand down. Actually, I have a better idea. I'll buy the house. What? Tom blinked. I'll buy the house from you. At market value. You can use the money to pay off your debts. But the deed goes in my name. And you pay me rent. They had no choice. The bank was threatening foreclosure. They signed the papers. Now I was their landlord. Owning the house changed the dynamic. I moved into the master bedroom. Mom was relegated to the guest room downstairs. Tom and Hannah were forced into the cramped attic room. The heat in the attic was unbearable in the summer. Tempers flared. I installed cameras in the common areas. For insurance, I told them. The final break happened 3 months later. I had been putting subtle traces of distinct perfume on Tom's jackets whenever he left them on the coat rack. I'd spray a little on the collar, just enough for a paranoid nose to catch. Hannah was unraveling.
She stopped eating.
She muttered to herself. One evening, Tom came home drunk. He had been day drinking since losing his job. I can't stand looking at you, Tom yelled at Hannah. You're crazy. I should have married anyone else. Even a dog would be better than you. Hannah was chopping vegetables. She held the knife tight. You're going to leave me? For her? For Jessica? There is no Jessica. Tom threw a bottle against the wall. But I wish there was. I'm leaving you, Hannah. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. He stumbled toward the bathroom. I'm taking a shower. When I get out, I want you gone. The shower. My heart began to pound. It was happening. The cycle was completing. I sat in the living room, watching the feed on my phone from the kitchen camera. Hannah stood there, trembling. Her eyes were voids. She put the knife down. She walked over to the stove. She grabbed the large pot of pasta water that was at a rolling boil. In my last life, she kicked the door open and threw it on me. She thought I was the mistress. This time, she knew who the betrayer was. Hannah walked up the stairs, the heavy pot shaking in her hands. Steam trailed behind her like a ghost. I didn't stop her. I didn't call out. I sat still, remembering the searing pain of my skin melting, the smell of my own flesh cooking. I heard the bathroom door kick open upstairs.
Die, you cheater.
Hannah screamed. Then a howl. A sound so primal, it didn't sound human. It was Tom.
Ah.
My face. Help me. Mom rushed out of her room. Tom. She scrambled up the stairs. I followed, slowly. The bathroom was a scene from hell. Tom was writhing on the floor, his skin blistering red, peeling away from his chest and face. Hannah stood over him, the empty pot clattering to the floor. She was laughing. A high, broken sound. Now no one will want you, she whispered. Now you're mine forever. Mom threw herself at Hannah, scratching and biting. You monster. You killed my son. Hannah shoved Mom backward. Mom, with her bad depth perception, missed the step. She tumbled down the steep attic stairs. Thud. Thud. Crack. She landed at my feet in a heap. Her neck was twisted at an unnatural angle. She wheezed once, looking up at me with her one good eye, terrified. Then, the light went out. I stepped over Mom's body and looked up the stairs. Hannah was backed into a corner, realizing what she had done. Tom was passing out from shock, his breathing shallow. I took out my phone. I didn't call 911 immediately. I recorded. Hannah, I said calmly. She looked down at me, eyes wild. He deserved it. They both did. You did this. You made me crazy. I didn't do anything, I said, capturing her confession. You punched Mom. You blinded her. You got Tom fired. And now you've murdered Mom and destroyed Tom. It's all on video, Hannah. The cameras. I pointed to the blinking red light in the hallway corner. Hannah's face crumbled. She rushed toward the open window of the attic, perhaps thinking she could fly, or escape, or just end it.
Go ahead, I said.
It's a long way down. She hesitated. That hesitation cost her. Sirens wailed in the distance. I had triggered the silent alarm minutes ago. The trial was sensational. The boiling water bride. Hannah pleaded insanity, blaming a woman named Jessica who didn't exist. The prosecution used my testimony and the security footage to paint her as a cold-blooded, jealous killer. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Tom survived, but barely. The burns covered 60% of his body. He lost an ear, and his face was a melted mask of scar tissue. He was blind in one eye and had limited vision in the other, ironically, mirroring the injury his wife had inflicted on his mother. Because he had no income and significant disability, he became a ward of the state. I refused to take custody. I'm traumatized, I told the social worker, wiping away a fake tear. My sister-in-law killed my mother and melted my brother. I can't be near him. It brings back too many bad memories. They understood. They sent him to a state-run facility. It was underfunded, smelled of urine, and the staff was neglectful. I visited him once a year later. He was sitting in a wheelchair by the window, staring at a brick wall. Tom, I said. He turned his scarred head. He couldn't speak clearly because the scar tissue had tightened around his mouth, but he groaned. Sis, help me. I can't, I said cheerfully. I'm leaving the country. I sold the house. I'm going to travel. Money? He rasped. Mom's money. There is no money, Tom. You spent it all on Hannah. Remember? I leaned in close, just like I had with Hannah in the car. By the way, I whispered. Do you remember the day before Mom lost her eye? I asked you to buy Hannah a gift. You wouldn't wake up. You forced me to go. Tom's eye widened. In another life, I said, my voice dropping to a terrifying whisper. I went with you. Hannah punched me. I lost my eye. You and Mom left me to rot. Hannah boiled me to death. And you laughed. Tom began to shake. He tried to scream, but only a gurgle came out. He looked at me as if I were a ghost. This is your hell, Tom, I said, standing up and smoothing my skirt. Enjoy it. I've already lived mine. I walked out of the facility into the bright, warm sunlight. I took a deep breath. The air smelled of freedom. My eye was clear, my skin was smooth, and my bank account was full. I hailed a taxi. To the airport, please. I never looked back.